Howdy folks, and welcome to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. Did you like the pre-credit sequence there? I liked it. I thought it was hilarious. Panzer 38T on one side, Electo on the other side. The B-2's got nowhere to go, and somehow they still managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. I love that sort of thing. Anyway, today we have an IS replay for you. This is Brunitozz. And he's very new to the IS, the Soviet Tier 7 heavy tank with a 122mm gun. As a matter of fact, at the time he played this match, he'd only had the tank for an hour. So, Tier 7 maximum match on Serene Coast. I always have problems remembering the name of this map. It's that rock in the background. I keep thinking it's Gibraltar. Anyway, what did you see the gun on the KV-2 behind him? Look at that. That's not, well, it's a derp gun, but it's not the derp gun. That looks like the U11 122mm howitzer, the fail gun that you get on the IS as well, and I think also the T43. That's not going to be much fun. Anyway, it's not about the KV-2, it's about Brunitozz here in his IS. Anyway, have a look at the map. They've got three tanks, a Cromwell B, a T-34-85 and a T-67 who have headed west, and everybody else, with the exception of the KV-2, who hasn't even moved yet, is lemming training, in true random battle fashion, around to the eastern side of the map. Have a look at the IS up front, over there on the left. Not the most useful position for a top tier heavy tank to be on this map. And Brunitozz looks over and he's like, "Oi, you in the IS. You don't want to be over there. You want to come over here with me." And surprisingly, the guy says, "Yeah, alright." Now, while Brunitozz is confirming that this fella is actually abandoning that useless position tucked away over there in the corner of the map with the M7, just take a look at the mini-map as the first casualty on his team falls to the swarm of enemy tanks. Look at them. Let me just enlarge the mini-map for you so you can follow this in greater detail. Even better, for a change, I'm actually going to be able to see what's going on. I'm not really squinting at a tiny little mini-map in a preview render window. That's at least 7 enemy tanks coming around that northwestern corner of the map. Now, to be fair, alright, the KV-2 is doomed. There's just no way he can get out of there. But everybody else, or almost everybody else on Brunitozz's team, are reacting to the threat. They're either running away, or they're digging in or turning around. Note that Yak Panther, however, that just popped up in the southern end of the map. We're going to see more of him later. Anyway, back to Brunitozz in the IS. It's at around about this stage, where he forms a battlefield platoon with the other IS. They've just lost 3 tanks, by the way. Remember, Brunitozz hasn't even seen an enemy tank yet. And he's only now, he's a little slow to react, but he's only now realising the trouble that is developing behind them. So he turns around and he heads straight back. Here's the other IS. Now, this is the guy who was heading to that peninsula sticking out and that little sort of spit of land sticking out into the water over there, and thought that was a good spot to be in a top tier heavy tank. You wouldn't expect him to be very useful in a fight, but I'll tell you what, he turns out to be a good guy to have at your back in a tough situation. They've now lost a third of their team, and Brunitozz still hasn't seen an enemy tank. Oh no, there we go. He's now seen an enemy tank. Cromwell B there's about to get his arse handed to him by that AMX-12T. They've now lost 6 tanks, but they've managed to kill 2. Enemy tanks swarming all over their camp, and Brunitozz still hasn't had a shot at anybody. They've now lost 8 tanks, and they're being capped. Hellcat going around, looking for the killing blow. 2/3 of his team are now dead, and he has not yet fired a single shot. That Hellcat manages to pull a kill back. They're now only losing 3 kills to 10. Brunitozz starts taking fire from the rear. Doesn't want to hang around here, giving the rear of his tank to enemy guns, which probably means the Hellcat's now in trouble. The M7 they were platoon with has just died to an SU-152, so there are now only 4 of them left against 12 enemy tanks. They are now outnumbered 3-1, and Brunitozz still hasn't fired a shot. He better make his first shot count. And it does. Nice little bit of double team action there from the two ISs, nailing two enemy tanks and bringing the scores to 5-11. However, that A43 over there is giving it some problems from the flank. His gun's reloaded. Looks like the A43 is reversing out of trouble. You really want to follow him around there though. You don't know what else is lurking around that corner, so instead he lets him back off, and between the two of them they bring their guns to bear on these enemy tanks in the middle. What's this? Boom, boom. Ow, that's going to hurt. A43 is probably not going to be able to polish that one out. Unfortunately, the odds just got worse. They're now the only two left. The odds are now worse than 4-1. So now he gets a good damage roll against that Sherman, but leaves him on just a fraction of health. I really, really begrudge when you've got a gun that can do 390 average damage, and there's a tank on that kind of low health. Can somebody else kill him, please? I don't want to waste this kind of alpha damage on a low health kill like that, but there is nobody else to shoot at him. And they're being capped again. And oh, that is not good. Platoon mate's yelling for help. He has to go around there and back him up, which means he might take some damage as he tries to get out of there. 3001H back on the island there, fires on the move and misses. They both take aim at that SU-152. Unfortunately, even with good damage rolls, it's just not quite enough. He's got just too much health. Took a hit there on the rear of the turret, and it looked like high explosive. Oh, whoa, he's ammo racked. Isn't that just typical? He only had 83 health. Could he not have ammo racked him the first time he hit him? I mean, World of Tanks, why you do this? Other IS turning around to deal with a 3001P behind them. As Brunitozz is jockeying with that SU-152. And this 3001P has to be using the 105 Howitzer. Look at that. Only did 83, 84 damage. But he's blown the tracks of his platoon mate in the IS, and that gives the SU-152 the opportunity that he needed. Brunitozz is now the last tank standing on his team against 6 enemy tanks. Okay, 5 enemy tanks. He's killed the SU-152. Took a hit from the rear. It's the 3001H. It went into his tracks, but he's still mobile. Oh, a Stug. That's not good. It's damaged his turret ring, but you only need one shot with this gun to take a Stug out. 350 health, 390 average damage. And here comes the 3001H. Watch this shot from the 3001H here. Fires on the move, admittedly, but look at that. It didn't even go into the same postcode. It's going to take 2 shots. Actually, no, what am I talking about? It's 390 average damage gun. It's only going to take 1. And there it is. Now, 3 against 1. And whoa, there's the Nashorn. Back up, back up. You're reloading, you're reloading. Nashorn donks the shot into the ground. Brunitozz lunges forward, plants one into him, decent damage roll, and blows his tracks off. But he doesn't follow up and try to get around the side because the Nashorn immediately burns the repair kit and gets his tracks back up and running. And the Nashorn seems quite content to just sit there and wait. Now, does that mean he's waiting for backup? Oh, that was unlucky. Brunitozz appeared to have the shot for a second there, but his tank hit a bump in the ground and the cannon jerked up and it went miles wide. But again, the Nashorn is quite content to just sit there. Does that mean he's waiting for reinforcements? Because there's still a Jagdpanther and a T1 Heavy out there somewhere. Brunitozz keeps checking behind him. He's not convinced that this Nashorn is alone. The Nashorn takes the shot. Quite unlucky, actually. Into his inside drive wheel, just blew his tracks off, didn't do any damage. He's probably only using the 75mm gun. I'm really not sure what gun that Nashorn has equipped. It doesn't look like the long 88, but even if it was the long 88, it's going to take the Nashorn 2 shots. Oh, and he's got him. Well, it's academic. It's now 1 against 2. Where are those other 2 enemy tanks? They were both last spotted more or less in the same location, over there on the other side of the, well, we'll call it a lake. But there's been no sign of them for a long time. Now, the Jagdpanther is going to have a good gun. The T1 Heavy, not so much. It's either going to have a 3-inch gun or a 76mm gun. And the 3-inch gun only has 101mm of penetration, which is 27 less than the 76mm gun. The 76mm gun has 128mm of penetration and is very rapid firing. Now, they would have to hit Brunitozz 2 or 3 times in order to kill him. Oh, there he is. Doesn't have a shot though. Not thanks to that graveyard of empty tanks in the cap circle. Now, Brunitozz does make use of a lot of auto-aim here, and that, in combination with the IS's terrible accuracy, is going to cost him a good hit there. But he takes a hit from the T1 Heavy, but it only does around about 20 damage. You see, the T1 Heavy can finish him in 2 if he gets good damage rolls, or 3 shots if he doesn't get good damage rolls, but that's assuming the T1 Heavy is firing anything other than high explosive. And it appears that he has actually switched to armor piercing, and it doesn't matter because, yeah, wrong ammo choice from the start, he's now dead. To be completely fair, I couldn't really see what gun the T1 Heavy had. He might have had the 3-inch gun, in which case with only 101mm of penetration, well, it wasn't a guaranteed result even if he was firing armor piercing. As you can see, the second shot he fired bounced. Well, actually the second shot he fired missed. The third shot he fired bounced. Now, where's the Jagdpanther? Have a look in chat. The enemy team are saying that the Jagdpanther has managed to get himself stuck in the exact same location that he's been shown on the minimap for the last 8 minutes. He was last spotted over there 2 minutes after the game started, and they're saying he's still there. Now, do you trust them? That's the question. It does seem legit. I mean, we would have seen the Jagdpanther. You'd like to think that you would have seen the Jagdpanther long before now, if he wasn't AFK or stuck or a bot or whatever. But how far are you prepared to trust the enemy team when they give you this kind of information? Because I've seen people who've been fooled into throwing a match when they've been in exactly this kind of situation. There's been 2 tanks left alive in the match, 1 on each team, 1 on the enemy team, a mobile tank, a medium or a light, the 1 on our team, big, slow, heavy. And the enemy say, yeah, he's AFK, he's up in A1, right up in the top northwestern corner of the map. Been sitting there for the last 10 minutes. And you take them at their word, and you get halfway there and suddenly your base starts getting capped, and you're too far away to do anything about it. Now, up there, to the left, that's where he was, and that's where they're saying he is. They're saying he's managed to flip the tank on flat ground. Well, it's certainly possible. But at the same time, Brunitozz is not really prepared to take them at their word, because if this guy's a bot, for example, oh, there he is. If this guy's a bot, for example, that doesn't mean he can't kill you. The Jagdpanther could have that 105mm gun, and he could end you in 1 shot. Oh dear. Oh, he missed! Well, under normal circumstances, Brunitozz would be dead by now, but look at the situation that Jagdpanther has gotten himself into. Look at this. He's been there for the last 10 minutes. Oh no. Oh, this is so embarrassing. Oh well. I think it's safe to say Brunitozz has managed to win this one. Come on, one more. Put him out of his misery. Let's see this inglorious 3DO vision. Get that one stitched, sunshine. And that's Brunitozz getting his 8th kill and going alone against 6 enemy tanks and still somehow managing to win. And check out the medal collection. That's Ace Tanker, Hand of God, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, Radley Walters medal, Kolobanov's medal, Crucial Contribution because he formed a battlefield platoon with that other IS, and between them they got 12 kills. So often I've seen people getting 12 kills alone, and if they'd only just offered to do a battlefield platoon with anybody else on their team, they would have gotten a Crucial Contribution out of it as well, but they just keep forgetting to do it. As well as that, there's the Steel Wall, the High Caliber, and the Top Gun. Now, he doesn't run a premium account. He plays on a standard account, but he still managed to earn 51,000 credits out of that and 3,282 experience. And remember, when Brunitozz played this match, he'd only had the IS for an hour. I'm prepared to bet that Brunitozz is willing to fight anybody who tries to tell him that the IS is a bad tank. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's World of Tanks video, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.